This garden might be at peak right now. Oh, it's just so fun to see the different kinds come back. And this is peak for the hydrangeas on this side of the house. Ooh, and that's a pretty corally color. You can see the bees really like the native varieties. Hey, I want to take you on a June garden tour today, show you some deer resistant plants that I'm trialing. I also want to give you a winter sowing update for those of you that watch every episode because I haven't done that. I realize a lot of you struggle with deer also, so I like to start the garden tours in the deer resistant garden. I've got the fenced in areas where I can plant pretty much whatever I want, but I really feel for you when you don't have a fenced in area and you're dealing with deer. The lavender's in full bloom. These blooms are about spent. I should pick it so it'll produce more for the bumblebees. They really go after it. This bee balm is a little lanky. I should have cut this one back. I might take some twine and tie it to the fence, but these are both great deer resistant plants. The Concord grapes are doing so good. I have been seeing the spotted lanternfly on it, so I don't know what that's gonna lead to, how much damage they're gonna do, but so far, so good. The willow stick supports are working well for the echinacea, as well as the Rebecca natita, which I also gave the Chelsea chop to, and it's filled in so nice. This gets 7 feet tall if you let it and likes to flop, so I did some pruning on it. The Russian sage is behind everyone else's. Everyone else in the neighborhood, theirs is blooming already, but I cut mine back. If you missed that video, I like to cut a lot of things back so that they stay nice and stocky and I get a ton of blooms that way. I have some yarrow in here that's fading, boxwood topiary, some more bee balm, thyme. This golden smoke bush looks like it's struggling a little. We did just have a heat wave, so it looks like it's a little stressed, but it's getting a lot of new growth. The magenta magic yucca looks happy in its spot, as does the artemisia. This is Gara. The deer have been pruning it for me, but eventually they do leave it alone. So I'm not too worried about it. The Russian sage is feeling in nice since it's pruned. The drumstick alliums are in their prime right now. They're such a fun one. They're ultra deer resistant. I put them in my free deer resistant plant guide. It has 26 plants that are super deer resistant. I'll link it in the description. It's printable. This butterfly bush is getting ready to bloom. This is a fun one. It's called kaleidoscope. So you get a bunch of different colors on one bloom. This is the Mr. Bowling Ball arborvitae. The deer still haven't touched it. So this is a big winner in my book for deer resistant plants. That's a little bee balm from Proven Winners. I need a deadhead. Anise hyssop back there. This salvia, I just cut back the spent blooms, so that should bloom again. I cut back a lot of the daffodils in the front and left the ones in the back to just die back naturally. This butterfly bush is blooming. I remember I got this one for $3 years ago on the clearance rack at Lowe's. That was a good buy. So this echinacea, the deer just keep munching on it as usual. Echinacea, I find you can have it if you're in a low deer pressure area. This road garden, the deer walk back and forth. This is the high deer pressure area in my garden. So if I want blooms, I do need to spray. If I don't spray at all, I'll get blooms just way later in the season, once the plants are tougher and they don't want to eat them. So this arborvitae, I forget the name of it, I'll put it on the screen. It's having some problems. So we had that heat wave, and I was watering it from the garden. I would just shoot the hose over here because the hose doesn't reach. You can see how beautiful it looks on this side. And this side is all dry. So that was a mistake. I should have came out here with a watering can. I did yesterday. And also I can tell the deer did sample it. It doesn't mean they liked it. It doesn't mean they're gonna keep coming back for it. I need to prune it anyway. Well, no, I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see some of it is the color, because it is kind of an orange bronzy arborvitae that I think greens out in the summer, but you can see that's dry. That's heat stress. So I should probably prune it anyway. The deer were starting to prune it for me. We'll see. I think it'll survive if I pay more attention to it the rest of the summer. I am very good at killing evergreens. Oh, they're just so easy to forget about. This liatris the deer are letting me have, I did spray it. Usually they munch the buds by now, but the spray seems to be working well. This is a true blue butterfly bush, getting ready for its show. This false cypress, I forget the exact name, I'll put it on the screen. This is a winner, And the tag did not even say deer resistant. They have not touched it, and they have been coming directly in here. Before I mulched, there were hoof prints, and also you can see they munch on the raspberries, which I totally don't mind. They're coming through the fence. But yeah, the raspberries, these are our first raspberries. Looks like I already missed some. I need to pick these. This is obedient plant. I wouldn't call that deer resistant. They are munching on it. But it is deer resistant though. It's not their favorite, so it will be interesting. I am gonna spray it and then see if they'll let me have some blooms, because I have another obedient plant that they leave alone. I can see it from here over there. They haven't touched it. It's interesting enough. That little spot right there is low deer pressure. But this is like right, because that's off the path. This is their path. This is a golden color catmint. And then here's another catmint that I cut way back because it was looking sad. And this is a lamb's ear that starts with a H. I forget. I'll put it on the screen. I always wanted it, and I finally saw it at a nursery because it is deer resistant. So that's a fun one to have. It's supposed to bulk up really easy, and then you can divide it and have a ton of it. The smoke bush is doing good. I've been good about watering it. Golden anise hyssop that I planted from seed this year is doing good, and I have some cleome that self-sowed. That's completely deer resistant. And this yarrow in here, the deer do a good job pruning it back for me so it stays nice and short. But once it blooms, they're not really that interested in it, so it works out perfect. And I did put some water out for the deer, and I think they found it because yesterday I came out and it was completely empty. This rosemary, it looks like I'm not watering it enough. It's drought tolerant once established, but I probably should have been babying it more, so we'll see, because I just planted that. This little corner's doing so good. This liatris is doing good. I only got, see, you can see one munch right there. Oh, and the obedient, so this is another kind of obedient plant. You can see they took some munches, but that's not a big deal. It'll still bloom. The Amsonia, they did not touch. There was a couple bites earlier in the spring. The Joe Pye weed, they're letting me have. I did cut that back because that's the tall one. Coneflowers was really stressed with the heat wave. Yesterday, I happened to look at it and it was totally shriveled. So I gave it a ton of water and it seems to have bounced back well. And that's because I just recently moved it, so it's not established here yet. And it does love moist shade, so gotta keep an eye on that. This panicum is so easy. I don't really have to worry about it at all. Got the lamb's ear. This kale planted itself. I just left it. It's interesting. The deer haven't even nibbled it. They have like no interest in the kale. This is a new Brunnera, a variegated one I picked up. Deer haven't touched that. And this is a self-sown. It's probably a Cherokee Sunset Rudbeckia or Indian Summer. You can see they take some bites, but they don't eat everything. So to me, that's deer resistant. It does have fuzzy leaves. Like, I don't think they would taste good. Yeah, so kale grows like a weed because I let it go to seed. This is little Joe Pye weed. And again, it looks like the deer did some pruning for me. They did the Chelsea chop. If you watch that video, you cut the front of the plant and you leave the back to bloom first. So they did a really good job. These black-eyed Susans, I want to yank out of here. Every year, the past couple years, they've been getting this black mold. It's so ugly, and the deer have been eating them more, so they have to go. This butterfly bush is getting ready to bloom. There's some creeping phlox I have to cut back. I've been cutting back my creeping phlox. Now's a good time to do it, after it blooms. And this is interesting. I transplanted this yarrow, which is not supposed to transplant well because it has a taproot, but it looks like it's doing pretty well. It's got new growth on it, so we'll see. This whole area I need to redo. It's just kind of a mishmash. This is a new little goat's beard I picked up. Deer haven't touched that, so there's a good deer resistant one for shade. Anise hyssop is holding on. I mean, it gets part sun over here. The peonies don't mind the part sun. They do really well. The astilbe, I did not spray, so the deer have been munching on it, but they let you have some of it. It's really not their favorite, so you could definitely call astilbe deer resistant. And if you sprayed it, you'd be fine. I need to take this iris out of here. Iris really should be in full sun. Sedum can take the partial shade. This weigela, the deer eat the blooms, but they let me have the foliage, so that might stay in this garden. Gorilla fern, we picked up on that nursery trip. And this golden spirea, now's a good time to cut it back. It's gotten a little too big. The ostrich fern is filling out. This gold cone juniper is doing really well in this spot, completely deer resistant. The hellebores, it's about time to cut back the flowers and just let it get new foliage. The 9-bark is doing wonderful here. Kind of camouflaging the hose link a little. I mean, you can still see it. From this side, you can't see the hose link at all, so that's nice. We've got some bee balm that's holding up pretty well. It looks like the 9-bark is giving it some support. Indian Summer, Rebecca. This is some sort of agastache I think I got from Proven Winners last year. This I can tell is a Magnus coneflower because it has that dark stem. And a lot of these are just intermixed with different coneflowers. That one looks like a cross between the Magnus and the powwow berry. The liatris is getting ready to bloom. I do want to thin it out in here because you can't see the trunk of this boxwood topiary right now, and that's a shame. Here's some powwow berries getting ready to bloom. Oh, this looks like a mix. The powwow berry looks more like this one, but I think that might be a cross because that looks a little tall. It's really fun when you grow a bunch of different echinaceas because you get all sorts of little mixes. Like, see this one, how small the flower is? So cute. So the only butterflies I've been seeing are the cabbage moth butterfly that we don't like, the our pest. It's so sad. I did see a monarch the other day. I haven't seen much of any butterfly. Have you? In your area? Gara is blooming. Here's another powwow berry. Golden mop false cypress. Might trim it a little because it's starting to encroach on the sidewalk. Japanese false holly, it's looking good. These are good shrubs for deer, completely deer resistant. Butterfly bush, completely in bloom, but no butterflies on it. There's been lots of spraying in the area. People are just killing all the insects. It's so sad. Golden juniper. 9-bark's filling in nice, getting a lot of new growth. This is the little devil. This cow lily planted itself here and the deer haven't found it. Really pretty color. I don't know how that happened. I did have a white one and some other colors, so maybe they cross-pollinated and a bird left me a present here? I'm not sure. But I love it. Another golden mop false cypress, boxwood. This Joe Pye weed is filling in really nice. We cut it back in that video and it has the willow supports because this gets 7 feet tall. This fire chief arborvitae is doing really well. So you can see how happy it is when it gets plenty of moisture, unlike the one by the road. This is interesting. Because back here it's looking more like a traditional arborvitae, which the deer probably would eat. Interesting. But it doesn't seem to mind being under the air conditioner. Yeah, I should redo this whole area. It's not looking that great. The echinacea the deer are letting me have. This one looks completely fried and it has some insect damage, but we have the pale Polito one. Okay, let's go to the fenced in gardens. The yarrow is in bloom. This is fun. I really should label these. This was a pastel mix. So it looks like I have a very pale pink one. It's not quite white. There's little bits of pink in there. Oh, this is fun. And this light peachy color. And then we have that soft yellow, hot pink, light pink. Ooh, and that's a pretty corally color. Really like that one. So they take up a lot of room, but I'm really glad I let them go because I didn't want to pull a bunch out and then be missing some colors. So that'll be a chore, going through and labeling. I should do it soon while I can still see what the colors are. This kale planted itself. You can see how much better it's doing than the ones I planted. So I'm just gonna direct sow from now on with kale. I've decided. There's another one that planted itself. It's so much less work and they do so great. You have some poppies here that planted themselves. Cherokee Sunset Rebecca, Volunteer Sunflower, and I did plant some fancy Van Gogh Fantasy Mix from Sunflower Steve in here. So that'll be exciting. I bought those seeds last year and never got around to it. Does that happen to you? And then in here I have zucchino, the vining zucchini, to grow up these trellises. And then over there I planted some beans. This Mademoiselle Rose has a pretty bloom on it right now. It smells really good. And it has a ton of new growth. Oh, and I just spotted lanternfly. There's the stage they're at right now. There's a couple. There's one there, and there, and there. Oh, and there, and there. Yeah, this rose has been loaded. So it'll be interesting to see what happens if it's gonna turn black because they excrete a sugary substance and then that feeds the black mold growth, so we'll see. This garden's really looking good now. Okay, so you're greeted with the echinacea that's flanking the entrance. I haven't cut this back at all, so it's nice and tall, so we'll see if it flops. This is the echinacea pallida. You can see the bees really like the native varieties. It seems the native varieties always have more food. Got Orlea in here. Some dahlias. Everywhere there's a bamboo stake, there's a dahlia, so that it'll have something to grow up. This spirea needed a cutback so bad. I did that yesterday. It was so floppy. This little Rebeckia planted itself. It's so cute. It looks like it's struggling a little bit, but I love how short it is. What a great bedding plant. The James Galloway rose is making a good comeback. I moved it and it was sad, putting out a lot of new growth. And we have some more pink yarrow. The calendula is going nuts. That I don't have to plant. It just goes to seed and spreads around quite well. The elephant garlic is flowering. I left this for the hummingbirds. I haven't seen any yet. Have you been seeing hummingbirds or butterflies? Grapes are starting to color up too soon, it looks like. I don't know. And what's up with that? I don't think I got around to cutting back this catmint, but it's still getting new growth from the center. Feverfew. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Let me know if you know. There's the spotted lanternfly. Some more rotten spots. This one doesn't have any grapes on it. Oh. But then over here we have some grapes, so we're gonna get some grapes. I'm not gonna worry about it. We don't even eat that many. I have some cleome that self-sowed in there. The 9 bark is looking so good in this corner. And these peppers are doing well. I have flowers. These are the Marconi Italian big red peppers. Some of the other peppers were struggling, but it looks like they're bouncing back from the insect damage. It's a Supertunia I stuck in there. Some Echinacea purpurea back here. The native one, that's why it's so tall. Works well to have that by a fence. Oh, and you can see this pepper's bouncing back very well. It's getting all new growth in the center. This Echinacea is swallowing this pepper, but that pepper's something completely ate it. But no critters have been getting in here, so that's just insects. But I'm happy the peppers, some of them are bouncing back, not that one. These look terrible. What do we have over here? These are my colored bell peppers, coral bell. I'm seeing new growth on chocolate beauty, so that's promising. I have a tomato that planted itself back there. It looked so happy, so I gave it a support because I didn't plant a lot of tomatoes this year. These foxgloves are going crazy. This is a Nicotiana that planted itself. I'm not sure if I'm gonna leave that. Oh, I gotta get out here and pick the raspberries. Not a lot yet, but they're coming. Swiss chard has been doing really good. We've been enjoying that. I eat it raw and cooked. The Liatris is getting ready to bloom back here. Let's see how this grape is doing. I put the Brussels sprouts here as a trap crop. It looks like it's working. Things are eating it. Got plenty of grapes. This is a Catawba grape. So far, so good. And they're not all looking perfect, but there's a lot of good looking bunches. We have Fama blue and Fama white scabiosa, a peony, some cosmos that planted themselves, so I moved them over here because they were in a walkway. I'm trying to be better about that, making sure. Oh, this got broken. It's okay, that'll probably grow back. Trying to be better about making the walkways accessible. The celery has bounced back because it had a lot of insect damage, but it's filling out nice. So how I pick celery is I just take a piece off as I'm cooking as I need it, and then it keeps on growing. So it's like the cut and come again method. My calendula is doing good over here. And then here's a bunch of stuff we cut back in that Chelsea Chop video. The bee balm is so nice and stocky at the bottom. It looks like it's helping to hold up the tall ones in back. So far that seems like a huge success. Same thing with the Echinacea over here. Jupiter's beard is so pretty. Over here, we've got the rose colored and the white one. Daisies are blooming. More calendula back there. A ton over here. This is new. I planted a golden Alexander. Trying to get more native plants in the garden. And this is a mellow yellow echinacea. Victoria blue salvia planted itself. Okay, now let's go back over here. I'm loving the foliage of the baptisia even when it's done blooming. That's a native one I planted from seed. I think it's time to cut back this pink ice plant. It's looking a little lanky. This yarrow's very lanky. I should probably cut this to the ground because it's kind of swallowing the dahlias next to it, but it's such a pretty color. I think I have this in the other garden, so I could probably give this one to my mom. I just got to double check. Yeah, because that's not the greatest spot for it. Have a dahlia blooming. Well, it's actually spent. I should cut that. I think this said Tyrell. Let's see. Oh no, Royal King. Yeah, I've got two right next to each other. Oh. The columbine, it's a good idea to cut back. I mean, if you want it to spread around and self-sow, leave the seed heads on. But if you want to get a new flush of green, cut it back. The Philopendula blooming for the first time ever in my garden. That's exciting. So that's a really good sign. I mean, it's not very impressive this year, but maybe next year is going to be its year. It's going to really fill out. It likes the spot, so I'm leaving it. I think that's the third spot I've had it in the garden, and that's the first time it's blooming. But yeah, it's looking really good in here. Really happy. Some feverfew that planted itself. Bumblebees are so social. You can get so close to them. Here's the Rebeckia mix that planted itself. And tomatoes, we're getting some tomatoes, even though they're getting crowded out by the Rebeckia. This is Indian Summer. This is a double. And then back here I've got cucumbers growing. I just planted, they sprouted already because in this heat it's a good time to plant seeds. Here's another kale that planted itself. Look at how huge it is. That's the prettiest kale I've ever grown. Back here I planted some potatoes yesterday. I honestly forgot about them. I had a bag in the basement and they were growing so well in the basement. The potatoes were all shriveled up, but they had so much growth. So I stuck them in here. Some honey nut squash I stuck there to grow up those trellises. Bronze fennel I planted from seed is doing good. All these raspberries are going to be delicious. This garden might be at peak right now. The only thing it needs is a pond. That would be so fun. All right, let me take you in the back. Oh, and I forgot to give you an update on the window boxes. So I planted some ivy geranium from seed and it was a mixed pack. So there was a red one in there that totally clashes, so that's gonna come out. But the other ones are filling in nice. There was a pink one that works well. These are doing very well. This one doesn't mind being smushed by the air conditioner at all. Kind of camouflages the air conditioner, gives you something pretty to look at. Okay, to the back. I finally gave the euonymus a nice prune. We've got black and white dianthus blooming. This is a short-lived perennial. I like to grow some of it from seed every year just to make up for the ones that die off. Really cute flower. So this is what that obedient plant in the road garden should look like that was all munched down by the deer. This one's getting ready to bloom. White common yarrow. Very short this year. I have no idea why. Usually the first flush of that is sometimes up to 5 feet tall, at least 4 feet. But I actually like it this height. I think this is perfect. The calla lilies are in full bloom. Spotted lanternfly on them. Seeing them all over, so we'll see what happens. Under this 9 bark, we have some Cherokee Sunset Rebeckia. that planted itself. It's so fun to look at the different mixes. This looks like a cherry brandy, Rebecca. There's another one from the Cherokee Sunset collection. And here's a powwow berry echinacea, which is really fun because this is a shorter variety. So it crosses with the Echinacea purpurea and the Magnus echinacea I have. So I get these in-between ones like this one that are just really nice and stocky plants. I haven't even cut that back. This balloon flower, I'm living dangerous. I haven't cut this back. It's so tall. I have no bamboo stakes to support it. But so far it's doing good. I probably should put something there because it's so tall. Yeah, these spotted lanternflies are everywhere this year. So I don't know. We'll see. There's another one. I have a hole there, but I'm not worried. I'd like to divide that iris and kind of rejigger that whole area. Bunch of different Rebecca's. Oh, it's just so fun to see the different kinds come back, or to see the different new hybrids. The black elephant ear is starting to put on some size. I cut back the lupin, so that should give it more of a chance. I think it was getting crowded out. Same with this sea holly. It's getting a lot more sun now. So pretty, such a pretty icy blue color. Have a little campanula back there. And that's a neat insect. I don't know if you can see it. I'm scaring it. This is such a neat flower. Okay, let's see if we can get that insect. There it is right there. Does anyone know what that is? There's another one. It's a dark colored sedum. I don't know which one, but it's happy here. I had it in the front for years and the deer just would barely let me have it. They just chomp it down. It's doing much better here. And here's a balloon flower, a shorter variety. I didn't cut this one back. This is just its natural size. It is just loaded. Its first bloom happened yesterday. Such an interesting plant. I planted this one from seed and it spreads around itself. I totally recommend this one. A lot of these I planted from seed. I do have a guide, 16 easy perennials to grow from seed, if you'd want to get into that. It's free, I'll link it in the description. Poppy that planted itself. The golden tower elderberry is doing so good. It's over 6 feet already. I really want to work on this wall, making it more of a privacy screen. Blue bunny hydrangea is immense. I don't know if it's ever been this big. I'm gonna have to go back through pictures. It is just ginormous. Oh, and the little lime hydrangea had its first bloom. I mean, it's starting to open up buds anyway. That sedum is ginormous. It gets the extra water from the drainage pipe. So big. The Atlas rose is looking really sad. It finished its first flush of blooms and I cut it back, so we'll see what happens. It's just got a lot of bug damage. This is a hippo, I don't know, they call it the hippo plant. I forget the exact name, but I planted these from seed. They weren't doing much, and now all of a sudden, I think they really like the heat. They took a jump. So these are neat because you can keep them as a house plant. So I'm gonna dig some of them up and keep them over winter. The pansies are still going, I just realized, even after the heat wave. So that's nice. Lining the path. And the calypso rose started blooming. You can see the color of it. It's such a soft apricot color. And it's got a very open habit, which the bees love. The elephant ear back here is doing good too. They can handle quite a bit of shade. This is a nice little hangout for Betty. Got some new hostas under there. Oh, and this iris. I don't know the name of it. A neighbor gave me a chunk of hers. That was so nice. And the plum tree seems to be putting on some size. So this is some type of Japanese Hinoki cypress. Eventually, I think it gets 10 feet tall, but it takes a long time. So I might move this one and get some more fast growing things for back here. I think the plum tree is growing at a decent rate. And this rose, I should move and put something taller here. The lilac, I had to give a rejuvenation prune because I had a broken piece that was right here, and it was just a matter of time. I was afraid it was gonna break, so I figured let me cut it back and get a new leader. We have berries back here because we have a mulberry tree right there. And this time of year, it lures a lot of animals. And last year we had a pregnant raccoon. She was so cute. She would jump, every time I'd come out to check if there's an animal to let the dogs out, she would jump in the lilac. So she kept breaking it. She didn't come back this year. The phlox is in full bloom back here. I don't know what's going on with this feverfew. Could probably just pull it out. I have enough. Ivory halo, dogwood. Not looking super happy here, but I did just move it in the spring. I'm wondering if it's not getting enough light. Toad lily's doing really well back here. Golden arborvitae not complaining. A new oak leaf hydrangea. This is supposed to get up to 10 feet tall. So this will be a nice screening plant one day. These are all the rocks, just from the hole to dig that one plant. Those are all the rocks, including that big one. I used a digging bar to get the big ones out. I'll put in some footage of that. It's a great trick. It's a tool that I learned about when we had our fence put in. It works really well when you really want to plant in a certain area and you don't want to give up on it. Just pick up one of these digging bars and you can get the rocks out. I mean, unless it's like a boulder like that. That's not going to work. The echinacea is doing really good back here, even though it gets so much afternoon shade. And I did end up pulling the trigger on the arborvitae ball I had here. It was dead after all, so I yanked that out and I got this new hydrangea that stays about 2 feet tall and wide. So pretty. It's an early bloomer. So I'm really happy about that change. Well, that's not good. These are flowering. I wonder if the chickens will eat these. Chickens are smart. If they're poisonous, they won't eat them. So you don't really have to worry about those lists. What are chickens allergic to? Is that poisonous? Sorry. No, is it okay? You don't like me watching you eat? Okay, that's fair. I don't like people watching me either. So did some cut back of the Brunnera, which was nice. Then I could see what's going on here. Got some balloon flower about to flower. I think that's the white one, I think. And the heuchera is flowering. The Japanese fern took a jump up, nice and upright. That's doing really well. I'm not loving having the tall Rebecca here and the native black-eyed Susan. It's getting that funky black spot. So I think I am gonna yank that out. And also I can't see the birds from my kitchen window because this is blocking it. So that's no good. Oh, and a quick winter sowing update. So, well, I don't think I showed you this one in the video, but this is Meadow Blazing Star I got from Flower Hill Farm. So 2 out of the 25 did good. So I'm gonna call that a win. So that'll bloom next year. It gets like little pine cone blooms. So that looked really interesting. The hostas were kind of a bust because it was a mix pack and they all just look plain green. I have a ton of plain green hostas. I don't need any more of those. I decided with the pansies, they're just not worth it to me because by the time they flower and bloom, it's so late in the season with the winter sowing that it's kind of, you know, you're over pansies by then because they like it cooler. The hellebores were a total bust, which I'm not surprised. They are supposed to be hard to grow from seed. The English daisies did well. They're blooming in the garden. I can't remember what else I did this year. These are some more of the ivy geraniums I did from seed. They're blooming, so I'll find a spot for those. Irish moss. I started inside from seed. That did very well. And up here, I had to stop watering my ivy, so I should take cuttings that are hanging down. I can't move this right now because you can see I have a nest in there. And I don't know, I did take the... Okay, we gotta get out of here because I just scared the bird. Come on, Betty. Come on. Okay, so she's sitting on her eggs. So there's like 5 eggs in there. Oh, I hope she's okay. Yeah, I gotta learn to just leave that alone. Give you an update on these window boxes. They're filling in very nice. This one does have a hole. You can see I have 2 bare root begonias in the middle. They're not doing well, so I need to find something to stick in the middle there. Variegated Joe Pye weed, getting ready to bloom. Calla lilies still going. Echinacea all budded up back there. The liatris. That'll look nice, the pink and the purple. This amethyst bachelor button is doing really good. It sprouted up new growth right from the center, even before I cut it back. That's a great rebloomer. When your calla lilies do this, it's time to deadhead them. It means they're getting too heavy because they're forming seed pods, and then you're not gonna get a rebloom. So I need to chop those off. Columbine, this is another one I should cut back so it reflushes out. Here's the English daisies from the winter sowing. They're kind of a disappointment. They were all white. I was hoping to have some pink doubles. Oh, the Tyrannia's blooming. This is an annual I planted from seed. I started these inside. That's nice. I was wondering if they were going to do anything. And the geum is starting to put out some new flowers. I should deadhead the rest of it, then it would give me some more. And this little hydrangea's blooming. Impatiens, I planted from seed, they're blooming. I don't know why, the lemony lace elderberry is looking awful green, not too vibrant right now. Oh, someone's singing the egg song. Verbena bonariensis in full bloom. We have some dahlias in full bloom. I don't remember the name of this one. I remember this one is Sylvia. Nice pom-pom style, lasts long in a vase. Pretty color. Got some more getting ready. Some echinacea blooming over here. And this is Tradescanthus. I just picked this up. This is a fun one. Helianthus is coming back nice from its cutback. The yarrow gets too much shade over here, so it's a little floppy, but I could just give it a cut back and it would look a lot better. Japanese Sun King, doing great. Swallowing the hosta underneath it. And this is peak for the hydrangeas on this side of the house. All the blue and purple. So pretty. I'll put in a shot of what this Astilbe looked like a week ago. Such a pretty pink. Really nice up against this blue. I think this one is Bloomstruck. I forget the name of this one, but I gave these all a good prune last year. They say on them the less you prune, the more they bloom, but I found the less you prune, the more they flop. And I'm getting plenty of blooms after giving them a good prune. So that was a lesson learned. Cherokee Sunset Rebecca over here. Doesn't mind this spot at all. Aloha elephant ear. And this hydrangea is my favorite. So blue. So blue. And it's got a ladybug on it. It's so nice to see a beneficial insect once in a while. And I don't know why I planted that calla lily. I think the geranium was just coming back for the year. I didn't realize how big it gets. So that calla lily kind of looks silly coming up in the middle of it. I should move it. But that geranium with that blue hydrangea was a real win. And with the golden oregano, really like that combo. And the dark side of the moon Astilbe, which never blooms, and it doesn't even bother me. I just like having that dark purple there for some contrast. And there's a hydrangea back there. I don't remember the name of it. It was a clearance special, but it's one of those that it blooms the same color no matter what the soil pH is. It is a shame. I have another mulberry tree over here and they dumped the berries on the hostas. This hosta's blooming. which is great. The hummingbirds, when the hostas are blooming, they just go from hosta to hosta. I haven't seen them, but that's what they usually do. I remember this one's twist and shout. This is bluer, I feel like, than it's ever been for me. So pretty. It's so nice to have blue in the garden, I think because it's so unusual. This iris next to it, I'm not loving the combination. They definitely are competing with each other. They bloom at the same time. So I think I'm going to divide that and move it around the garden because it is a really pretty iris. It has a nice variegated leaf. So it's interesting throughout the whole season. Well, that's it for now. Don't forget to pick up my free guide. If you are dealing with deer, 26 ultra deer resistant plants. It is a lifesaver. And although we are short on hummingbirds this year, one thing we've had a ton of in our yard is cardinals. Watching the babies grow up has been so much fun. I hope you're having a good time in your garden, getting some unwind time. Take care. Thanks for watching.